Hello. Hello, my beautiful people. How y'all doing? It is Freedom Friday, y'all. Y'all know I get excited. Freedom Fridays, y'all. I have been on for the last couple of days just talking with y'all and just letting y'all know what I have going on so y'all can be a part of it. So, if you have not already, I have a series coming up that is Pain Trumps Purpose soon. And I'll just be sitting down with some women and we'll just be having some good conversation about life. So I'm telling y'all, go over to my YouTube channel, Beauty Marks by God, and make sure that you subscribe so that you all can be in the know with everything and a part of the conversation. Okay? Now, let me get into this word. I titled this, Who's in Control? Who's in control? I mentioned the other day on one of my videos about Jonah and the whale, and I was like, I have to come back to it. So today is the day we're going to tap into the story and the assignment that Jonah had received from the Lord, but did not follow. Now, y'all know I'm going somewhere with this because as children of God, just like we are parents to our children, when we give our children an assignment, we're expecting them to follow through with it, right? So that's the same thing as far as what God wanted Jonah to do. He gave him an assignment to go to Nineveh because there was some wickedness going on. There was some things that was pretty much a lot of sin that was going on. God was unpleased. And so God chose Jonah to go and prophesy to them and let them know what was getting ready to happen if they did not clean up their ways. So, like I said, same as we are children of God, same as how we speak to our children. If we tell our children, hey, this is what I need you to do, you're expecting for that to be done. If not, there's consequences, right? There's repercussions for your actions. And I always let my children know, hey, scripture, honor thy father and mother, and although it says that we're not supposed to provoke our children either, but the main thing is if you training and bringing them up in the right way and you're talking to them daily, they understand. You have to, let children know this is why I'm telling you to do this. If I give you an assignment, I'm trying to get you to understand something. I'm trying to teach you a lesson. So anyway, Jonah was Jonah's assignment was to go to Nineveh and tell them about their wickedness and straightening up their ways. And God was telling him to go and explain that to them. So instead, because he felt that they were enemies of where he was from, he was like, why should I go and talk to them or make peace with them or let them know why not put the wrath on them? They not friends of mine anyway, they enemies from where I'm from. So instead of him following through with the assignment, he goes the opposite way and chooses to get on a boat and feel like, I'm just going to go and do what I do, get on this boat, pay his fare, get on this boat and go to sleep like God ain't gave him an assignment. Just ignored everything that he was instructed to do. So let me ask y'all this. What assignment has God instructed or given for you to do? That is something we got to think about. What assignment or instructions has God given you to do? Have you started or have you just dismissed the whole thing in general? Like, that ain't what I want to do. I was trying to go here. I was trying to do that. So this is where I'm going. This is where my focus is right now. And you just dismiss the whole instructions. But can't I tell you, Jonah got on his boat, y'all. And God was like, oh, let me just disrupt some things. So, of course, the storm came. God sent a storm. Waters was just raging. Winds just blowing. And people on the boat trying to figure out, well, where this come from? So when they figure out, okay, you the reason, you got to go. That's just like with anything else. Somebody just brings something that disrupts your peace or come around that disrupts your peace. It's like, your time up. You got to go. I need peace. I'm not getting in trouble for your actions and the things that you done did or the things that you have chosen not to do. Go do what you got to do because you disrupting the peace. So they threw him off the boat, right? And when they threw him off the boat, let me tell you how God's grace, the love that God has for his children and the forgiveness that he gives us. Y'all, we have to learn how to be grateful for God's grace and not play off of his mercy. Because it's serious. This ain't no game. God loved Jonah so much, or showed love to Jonah, because even though they threw him off the boat, God sent survival his way. Even though it was it was a whale. So a whale swallowed him. So he's sitting in the belly of the whale. So instead of him drowning in the waters, God sent a lifeline. Was like, okay, I'm gonna save you. How forgiving is God to where we can disobey him and he still shows his grace and still shows his mercy and still shows his love upon us and say, hey, even though you did not do what I asked you to do, even though you went against my will, even though you did not fall in alignment with the ways that I have instructed and the things that I have instructed for you to do, I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to show you grace. I'm still going to give you mercy. And this is what it's going to be because I have love for you. Y'all. So while he's sitting, God has saved him from drowning in the belly of the whale. And for 3 days and 3 nights, he had to sit and think about what he did or what he chose not to do. Now, this is the part right here. How many times have we gotten ourselves in situations and God has given us grace, but then we continue to do the same thing instead of turning away from it? So while you sitting and thanking God for getting you out of a situation, you need to be praying and calling out to God, Lord, change my ways, change my understanding, change the way I see things, change my verbiage, the way I speak, change my heart. I know this person has wronged me, but change the way I feel and let me be able to move forward, Father God, because I know you've shown grace and mercy and forgiveness. Has shown forgiveness because of what I put myself through. I thank you for your forgiveness. And so we have to call out to God. Sometimes we may have to take a fast, a 3-day fast, 3 days, 3 nights, and wait for God to speak to us. But do you know, although he was in the belly of the whale and cried out to God, God still heard him and released him. So when he was when the whale put him on dry land, God took him back to the place where he was supposed to do the assignment. So him thinking that he fits to get away from the assignment in disobedience, God showed his love, showed his forgiveness, but then he put him back in a position where he told him to be in the first place, in the assignment, to do the assignment and follow through with what he was told to do. Listen, we have to understand that forgiveness, God's forgiveness, even though we mess up, even though we do things that's not of God and not in his will, God still shows his grace. God still shows his mercy because he loves us. He's John 3:16. He's already given the greatest love of all, which was his son. So, y'all, it's okay to not be okay. But when you call on a Father that is loving and forgiving and put everything in his hands, he will put you back on the right path, just as he did Jonah. He put him back in position to follow through with the task that he originally assigned him. Right? So that's amazing. So my question again, have you started the assignment that was given unto you? Or have you dismissed the instructions? Because you got to get it. Because if you don't do it and you do the opposite and be disobedient, God is going to show his wrath. And a lot of times that's what we go through. We go through a lot of turmoil. Sometimes we have turmoil now because we didn't follow through with the plans that God told us to do. But once again, his loving kindness shows that he is still God and that he will give us another opportunity to do what's right, to follow him. Oh, so that song that came to mind, I am sold out. Y'all, my mind is made up. Y'all know that? No room, no vacancies. I'm all filled up. That's what song came to mind. I am sold out. You got to be sold out. You either going to go this way or you going to go that way. But one way is going to lead to destruction. And the other way is going to lead to peace and life and joy and kindness and happiness. And that's what we want to be. In the presence of God. And free. Freedom Friday, y'all. We want to be free. So in order to be free, follow through with the plan. And see the grace and the abundance of what God has for you unfold. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. Y'all, God has been connecting me with people. When I say when you move in obedience, God will open doors for you. Yeah, so anyway, my question is, who's in control? Are you running the show or are you going to let God run it? Who's in control? All right, listen. I just referenced the story of Jonah and the whale to just us in everyday life and knowing that you can't conform into things of the world. You can't get caught up in doing what you want to do. You have to follow suit and follow in obedience with God's will, because that's where your blessings flow. That's where, your peace and joy and everything, understanding. God gives us all of that, and you'll see the benefits. So the assignment was for Jonah to go to Nineveh and prophesy to these people, and tell them to turn from their wicked ways. And in doing so, once he followed through with the assignment, he begins to tell them, they begin to go on a fast pretty much so that they can be able to, just rebuild and cleanse and get themselves right. So they goes on this fast and, he follows through with the assignment pretty much. And God, even though Jonah began to ask God to just let him die, God still showed grace upon him. He give him shade. He give him things that he didn't even ask for. God was still showing grace and mercy. So don't be ashamed of your past. Don't be ashamed of the things that you've experienced just because of the mistakes that we made. We are human. Things happen. We make mistakes. But when you learn from those mistakes and you have an understanding, you have the wisdom. Wisdom is the key principle. Obedience is the key principle. Obedience is the key to the keys to the kingdom to open up some things for you. So y'all stay in alignment with God and just be obedient. Know who's in control. Okay? So think about the assignment that God has given you and follow through with it. So until next time, y'all be free. If you have come across this on replay, make sure that you send this out to at least 3 people. If not for me, do it for somebody else, because somebody may need to hear the word. Okay, y'all. Now, if all is not well, know that God is still working and you are beauty marked by God. All right. So y'all be blessed. Until next time.